Gaurie and I'm a legal intern with Ezee Company. In this video, I'll be discussing the landmark judgment of Lange versus Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Lange versus Australian Broadcasting Corporation is a landmark case in Australian constitutional law that dealt with the interpretation and application of the implied freedom of political communication under the Australian Constitution. The case involved former politician Joseph Joe Lange, who was a member of the Northern Territory Legislative Assembly. He had brought an action against the Australian Broadcasting Corporation for defamation based on a broadcast that accused him of corruption and dishonesty. The ABC argued that the broadcast was protected by the implied freedom of political communication. The High Court of Australia unanimously ruled in favour of Lange and established important principles regarding the implied freedom of political communication. The court held that the freedom of political communication is implied in the Australian Constitution as an essential element of the system of representative and responsible government. This implied freedom allows individuals to discuss and debate political matters without undue interference from the government. However, the court also recognized that the freedom of political communication is not absolute. It can be subject to reasonable restrictions that are necessary to achieve a legitimate purpose, such as protecting individuals' reputations or preventing the incitement of violence. The court established a two-step test to determine the validity of restrictions on political communication. First, the restriction must be compatible with the system of representative and responsible government. Second, the restriction must be reasonably appropriate and adapted to achieving the legitimate purpose it seeks to serve. Overall, the Lange case clarified and defined the scope of the implied freedom of political communication in Australia. It recognized the importance of free speech in a democratic society while also acknowledging the need for certain restrictions to balance competing interests. That brings me to the end of this video. If you have any queries, you can post them in the comment section.